So, investors, hi. So, let's take a look at a couple of charts. And what we're going to be doing is looking for the answer to one specific question. Where are the buyers? Right. Now, this is fundamental in investing, is knowing where are you going to find consensus amongst investors on whether to buy this stock or ETF or so on. So, if we take a look at this chart, now this is one of the Satrix charts. You can see this is just got a couple of indicators here. I've got a 9 EMA and a 21 SMA on here. If you don't know what that means, EMA is exponential moving average. It takes the last 9, or the average of the last 9 periods, and it weights the last few periods more than the furthest or the oldest ones. And then I have a 21 period simple moving average, which just averages the last 21 periods. And what I typically like to look for is crossovers between the two. But now that's not really the question that we're trying to answer right now. What we are trying to see is, are there buyers, and where are the buyers? Well, as you can see from this chart, we had a little surge, and then from there it's just been selling off, selling off, selling off. And that obviously shows very little confidence in this ETF. However, in the last week, there was some buyback. Now, the question to ask is, are there in fact buyers at this price level? Because price opened over here, moved down, and then buyers took over and bought it up to this level. So now, are there more buyers than sellers at this stage? Well, one thing that you should note is I have not put any other type of structural trend lines in place. I haven't done any work on this chart at all. So it's very difficult to see where are the similarities, where are the psychological entry points and exit points. It's very difficult to tell what's going on here. And it's importantly to note, it's very difficult to know, are there in fact more buyers than sellers in this area here? Are they going to buy this up and push the price back up here? We don't know. So that is now the question that we want to attempt to answer in this video. Right, so I'm going to take a look at a different one. I'm going to look at the Satrix Top 40. And here you'll see I've put in some trend lines to show some type of structure. Now, what I typically do, if you've watched my videos before, I like to look for the swings. So I first input the swings from highest to lowest, just to give it an idea, are we dealing with an upswing or a downswing period? Well, according to this, it looks like we've exhausted the buyers over here, and we might be in for a bit of a bearish move. I don't see this ranging higher than this at this stage. You can see it's got a pretty strong form over here. So I'm going to say that I expect this to move down. It may not move all the way down to here. And I typically put a dotted line or dashed line over here because it's in the future. So now, to get to the point of this video, where are the buyers? Well, once you've put in your line here, it kind of jumps out at you, isn't it? Because here you can see your strong support line. Alright, it's unconfirmed at this stage, let me say though, because I drew it from here and I drew it through the first turnaround point. It is, however, not confirmed. If price had to move down to here, touch here and rebound, that is a confirmed trend line, a bullish trend line. So we want to see confirmation at this level. What we don't want to see is it closing below this level. If it happens to close below this level, then we know that this trend has been broken, and we could see it rising up to here as a point of resistance and then bearing down again. Right. So what we want to answer at this stage is, where are the buyers? Now, once you've now put in your points of structure, it becomes glaringly obvious where you could maybe find buyers. So I would expect buyers to be sitting around here. This is now institutional investors and traders and retail investors, retail traders, and so on, that are all sitting waiting to see what price does. At this stage, you can see that the 9 EMA is slowing down. It was pretty strong here and it's slowing down. And the 21 is still coming up. It's now your later or longer lagging. Now, what we want to see, or what I'm expecting to see, is that the 9 EMA is going to cross, either touch or cross and go underneath the 21 in the next few weeks. I kind of see that happening because I think buyers have been exhausted here. I don't see a lot of buying action happening here. And you can see from these red candles what's going on. So I'm expecting that prices are going to be, or the price of this ETF is going to be dropping, and we might see buyers re-entering over here. Now, of course, you want to be buying when other buyers all jump on the bandwagon, because then we all exploit each other then. And that sort of grows the price at an exponential level. It gives a lot more power to the buyers. So as buyers see that other buyers are jumping on, so the price moves up and more buyers jump on because of the gained confidence. I don't think there's a lot of confidence at this stage in this ETF. All right, so that's just one. Let's take a look at another. Let's take a look at the S&P 500. This is now the Satrix ETF. Now you can see I've added some structural parts here as well. Now if I have to zoom out, you'll see why there's a reason for these lines here. So this is obviously from long ago. This is 2018, and then here is now the COVID sell-off. And what I've done is I've just drawn a line through here, a possible support line. I don't see price moving all the way down to here. However, this is now the S&P 500. This is now what's happening over in the States. And this is dependent on a lot of fundamental things that are happening right now with the invasion of Ukraine, interest rates. Companies don't have a lot of confidence at this stage, and there may be currency changes and the move over to crypto and so on. So these are a lot of fundamental things that could affect the S&P 500. Now this is obviously the ETF, so this is not the actual index. This is a ETF based on the index. So what we can see, if we now zoom in here a little bit, if we take a look at the 9 EMA, you can see that price is finding resistance at this level. It's not moving up to the 21, all right? And I kind of expect that price is going to find resistance all along this 9 EMA. That's what I'm expecting. We may see buyers re-enter, so I'm going to move my little gold rectangle. We might see buyers re-enter here. However, at this stage, confidence is at a bit of a low in terms of investors and traders at this stage in terms of S&P 500. So we might see price move all along that 9 EMA and break beyond this psychological support level. If it does break below that, then we know we might be moving a lot further down. And here is the 200 period, by the way. Obviously there hasn't been that many periods on this chart, so this might be a psychological point of support as well. So we might see price moving all the way down here and only finding buyers all the way down here. Right. So for those that are invested up here, you might have to exercise a lot of patience. You might see your portfolio diminishing quite a bit before it rebounds. Now obviously if you're a long-term investor, this is not a problem. You can buy your way down here. Even if your funds are limited, you can buy another 10 Rand or 20 Rand or 50 Rand or 100 Rand, depends on your budget, all the way down until price finds support. And then once you see confirmed reversal of this trend, now this obviously is going to be dependent on fundamental things that are happening in the world at this stage. You might see price move up because buyers enter the market at this psychological level here or at this level here, and therefore you can then start investing more in larger amounts once you see the confidence there. Let's take a look at the Nasdaq. Now Now, once again, this is the Cetric Nasdaq ETF. You can see that I've drawn in a psychological line of support over here. You can see that price moved and basically tested this area, moved down and wanted to retest, but didn't go all the way down there, and that is actually a positive sign at this stage. You can see at this stage, this week here, you can see that price actually gapped up. Now, experience tells me that when price gaps, the market likes to close that gap. The market doesn't like gaps that much. You can see it over here. It gapped up here, moved back, and guess what? It moved back down to close that gap. I don't know why this happens, but it happens over and over again. Here is obviously an exception to the rule, of course. Not that it is a rule. There are no rules at this stage. What we are doing is we're working with probabilities. We're working to see where can we best exploit that probability. Well, we can see that price has actually opened above the 9 EMA, but however it is so far this morning closed, or it hasn't closed, it's moved slightly down. So what we want to see, if we want to buy this, is that price needs to close at the end of this week above this 9 EMA. If it happens to move down and close below this 9 EMA, then we know that price might decline further. We can see that the average has crossed over, the 9 EMA has crossed the 21, so we might actually find some buyers here. So I'm going to just put this over here, because this is, I think, a critical point where price is gapped above the 9 EMA. We might find some buyers in around this area over here because of this psychological level of support, and possibly this level of support, this 9 EMA. We might see buyers into the market over here as well. Another one to look at is the gold. Now, this is the One Invest Gold ETF. You can see that there has been a psychological level of support over here, and we might see some buyers entering the market here at this average level over here. We might find support here. We can see it's quite easy once you look at the ranges, the swings up and down, that price now reached its zenith over here, and buyers were exhausted and started taking profits and moved down. So there's a very strong probability, especially that this is a commodity, that we have found support over here, and we could see buyers entering the market because of this support level here of the average lines, the moving averages, and we might see price move all the way up again, as long as a lot of buyers enter the market. If it has to move back down, we don't want it to go below this psychological level. If it happens to break below this level and close below this level, then we know that there are no buyers at this stage, and the market is flooded with sellers and people that are taking profit. So hopefully this gives a little bit of insight into how someone needs to approach looking at a chart. The thing that you want to be asking is, where will we find buyers, and where can we maximize our strategic position amongst other buyers that are looking at the exact same chart, looking at the exact same price movements and price action, and expecting to see other buyers, because this is a collective investor psychology point, right? So we are all seeing that price has rebounded off here and actually moved up, and that is a strong positive indication of what might come in the future. And as long as all buyers see the same thing and all enter the market at the same time, you will see price rallying. So I hope this video has been of some help to you. If you like this video, please subscribe for more content that I'll be posting soon, and for more insights into how I approach the market with my investing. So give it a like if you liked it, and share and so on, and good investing and good fortune to you.